vein here, or artery here, or hair cell here, or skin cell there. But within each cell, if we grab any cell, we can get all the DNA is in each cell of the whole of your whole body. So in each little cell, even though it expresses only a small portion, a small gene, it only has one little job, one distinct personality compared to the whole body. It still has at its inner being the whole essence of the bigger body. It's kind of like within us, we do have the whole essence of the Creator, the whole entire essence of the Creator, its whole story within and you, and it manifests in different ways. Trying to think of God as having a personality again, this goes against what we've been taught in the United States. We think of God as something that we can't really understand, or that we're not that close to. That it is a close God. It's a closer God than maybe some other religions we have. But I mean, there's the distant gods of some religions, maybe Muslim, the more distant God, and then Christianity has a closer God, but it's still a judgmental, jealous, easily angered God. Hinduism does have it kind of has a personal relation, kind of pushes for a personal relationship with God, a very close God. But really, where was I going with all that? Hinduism. The entire book is dedicated to the promotion of the allness of God, the oneness of God, and to the nothingness of any other thing. What is that? Just a random book. You are much more than this person that you now believe yourself to be. You are an individual manifestation of God. You are to God what a wave is to the ocean, what a branch is to the vine. You are just as much the presence of God as a wave is the presence of the ocean, or as a branch is the presence of the vine, literally. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Acquire from him submissively and render service unto him. Self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you, and when you have thus learned the truth, you will know that all living beings are but a part of me, and that they are in me and are mine. Krishna. I love Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. And I can tell you, I will tell y'all more stories about Krishna and how Krishna or Hinduism or the Brahman, how these concepts enter my life, and really how the subconscious or the soul can communicate to you through your environment, through other people. Sometimes somebody could say something that means nothing to them, but it's actually an answer to a thought you're having at that moment. Sometimes these coincidences, having a thought, hearing it in a song. Maybe I think the word dog, and then I read it, and then I hear a dog bark outside all at the same time. Then when these things all come together, then that's the infinite energy speaking to you. I've just been pushed from varying different things to come and sit down and record my random ideas on oneness, which is pretty much what this is all about. It's like I like to describe it as a dream. When you're dreaming, you're sometimes people. Hopefully you've had some dreams before. You're in a very relaxed state, and you're actually you're creating information and experiencing it at the same time. You have other dream figures in your dreams, people that seem separate from you, that seem like they have their own minds, their own ideas, their own thoughts, they seem to be totally separate from yourself, and you can interact with them as they are, as if they were separate from yourself. And a lot of times we fall deep down. We kind of know it's a dream, maybe, but we fall for the vast majority of our dreams, and we play along with them, and we seem like we want to be there, and we're interested in. And there's usually rules, the laws of physical laws that we abide by, usually gravity, or maybe we don't want to drown, or But then again, sometimes we also break those laws, and I've had a lot of dreams or lucid dreams where I fly or go into the ocean and can breathe underwater and things like that. But for the most part, they're based in reality to a pretty big extent. Um, so these dream figures, you can communicate with them, and they seem separate from yourself, but they're really you. They're your creations. They're your being. They're your consciousness. They're your mind, in your mind, and they are actually you. And I've had lucid dreams where I realize I'm dreaming, and I go up to dream figures and I say, "Hey, this is just a dream. This is just a dream. I'm just dreaming this up." And they don't hear me. I disappear. It's like it's like I don't exist, and then I'll start talking about the weather or something normal, and then they'll see me, oh yeah, and they'll talk back. But it is amazing that it is nearly impossible to wake up a dream figure to the fact that it's a dream. It's pretty much you're part against the rules of the subconscious mind to allow a dream figure to wake up. That would be equivalent to me coming up to you right now and saying this is just a dream, and when we die, we wake up, and this is just a dream, and maybe it's when we die we do wake up. We're just like, oh, okay, that's a wild dream. But yeah, so if God were a very smart being and a very maybe even biologically based being that was evolved maybe a million years ahead of us, 500,000 years, and it's not far fetched to believe something could manifest things in reality with its mind and have telepathic powers, overcome death, perfect its DNA, and then maybe even become perpetual in its energy supply and fuel, and be all, maybe even its mind, if it's as infinite as ours and is more evolved, it would be all encompassing and just start from this biological beginning and evolve to a point where it reaches such perplexity that it cannot be contained in an entity, and it just expanded and covered the universe. And that would make sense to me if the whole inviting God into your life, saying, God, you can enter me, you can experience life through me, you can become one with me. And that would be, to me, inviting a more biological entity that's just interested in us, so interested in us, just out of pure curiosity because of its far superior intellect, that it likes to forget itself in us. And then that would make sense that maybe if something is so you and imprints all of your thoughts, I mean, it's pretty much you. I wonder, even if we were just only biologically based and there was no heaven after this, if it imprinted every single part of us enough, if we would be the same person when it goes back to being its infinite self. If our memories, if our soul would live on in that entity's infinite consciousness. That's an odd thought, and I like to. I am interested in thinking of God from a biological basis. Absolutely, it's not so far fetched to think of a being very far more evolved than us. But you also wonder if you became infinite, if you became never had to die or even really sleep, and then maybe you would invent time, or maybe you would invent death and time so that you could have more impactful, more significant experiences in a shorter amount of time, thinking that your time is limited in this place, thinking that it is very short and limited, and that not knowing what happens after you die makes everything here in this reality that much more intense. And really, that's the rules of this dream. It's not knowing exactly what happens after death, because that's against our subconscious, our general current, or what we really, as souls that chose to be here, we really don't want to know, and that would just ruin the trip. Well, then maybe you have a bad day, and it goes